Love is dead. At the end of romantic comedies and the endless remakes of Cinderella, The Sleeping Beauty and Snow White, love has died. Now let's take a sip of this hot chocolate to let that sink in. It's not that I don't believe in this type of love anymore, or if I've never believed in it. I too cry at the end of Noah's Notebook. I mean, we're moved by the way he loves his wife, by the way he just dedicates himself completely to her. Like, you know, I watched that movie and I think, man, I wish someone could love me that way. But you know what? I think it is terribly selfish and senseless. Which some might art, love is not supposed to make any sense. But just think about it. It's hard to believe that anyone that is in Noah's position is truly happy. Could someone be happy when neither of his psychological or physical or spiritual or sexual needs are not being met? After all, no matter how much we love someone, we shouldn't lose ourselves loving them. Having stated that, why is it that this lifestyle, where love is so commonly the end of our existence, is so common? Bruh. When there's like so many chances that you might never find, you know, that ideal love, that you might never find someone who you truly connect to. Are you really going to spend the rest of your life just feeling miserable because you don't have someone to kiss you goodnight? Because like, I don't think that's a good idea, and I've had that feeling of wanting to be loved, but like, this is me coming from a point where I thought that love was the ultimate end, and then after reading and after talking with myself and talking with others, I realized, hey, maybe that shouldn't be the end of your life. So this is me, coming from a long process of contemplating what love is and what role it has on our lives. Like, if we really devote ourselves to this tendency, can we really say we're loving someone, like, as a person? I think that when we chase love, we're not loving people, we are chasing ideals. I think, and this is my very personal opinion, that if love is the ultimate goal of someone's life, then love is not what they're looking for. Like, when they love someone, they're not looking at that person as someone to love, but as a way to an end. A way to get that love that you so desperately want, when instead we maybe should consider people ends on themselves. So why do we believe what we believe? Where does this distortion version of love come from? Time has come to speak about Romanticism. Romanticism developed in the 19th century as an opposite to classicism. Not to classicism, to classicism. Now, I won't be talking about the consequences Romanticism had in art or in music or in literature, but rather the effect it had in the way we conceive love, and how it further helped develop the myths we have about the other half, about the blueprints, about finding your soulmate, about finding yourself in someone else, in love without context or without culture, without having anything into account, and how in that process we end up with something that I will be referring as empty love. Why empty, you might ask? Well, because I think that that love lacks what we need as persons to grow together. Because I think it lacks what two people need to grow together as a person. To support each other without sacrificing who they are, without losing themselves in the process, and when knowing when to leave, when the relationship no longer serves them. And I know a lot of people might disagree with that, because that's like seeing relationships in a utilitarian way, and how are you going to see someone in a way that's going to serve you? But actually, relationships are supposed to help you meet those needs that you have. Whether they're social needs, whether they're financial, economic, or spiritual, whatever need you have. Because after all, you're investing a huge amount of time and resources in it. You know, folk giving without receiving. We are not endless love machines. But to know our needs or our needs and desires, which also play a huge role on who we love, we first have to know ourselves. I wouldn't argue anymore that to love someone, you need to love yourself first. You know, all of these inspirational Pinterest or Tumblr quotes. You can't love someone until you love yourself fully. No, you know what? Fuck that. That's not true. You cannot love someone. A relationship will not serve you if you don't know yourself, if you don't know what you like or what you dislike, what makes you comfortable or what makes you uncomfortable, because then you will never know when to leave. You will never know if you're truly happy in that relationship or not. And this is not an experience, this is not a knowledge you necessarily get with a partner relationship. You can get this knowledge in the way your relationships work with your family, with your friends, with strangers. You don't have to have a romantic relationship to understand what your needs or your desires are. Continue where we left off. Since Romanticism, space rocket, our culture or like pop culture and our culture has made it its anthem. Everything from books to music to art to literature that talks about love has just taken Romanticism and swear it as its shield. We end up growing with this distortion version of what love is, of what we think that love is, before even experiencing it ourselves. And I'm not saying that this romantic way of loving is wrong, as long as both people that are doing it are naturally into it and not forced into it. Like, sure, I like flowers, I like chocolates, I like going into a fancy dinner, but that's not the core of relationships for me. I mean, if that's your thing, or if that's his or her thing, that's totally fine. Because it's about the needs that you need to fulfill. Mine might not be receiving that kind of treatment, but someone else's might, and that's okay. But you have to recognize that that's what you need, and that's what you truly want, and it's not just something that someone else is imposing on you. So, if love is not that rush of hormones we get from 3 to 6 months when we first start a relationship or when we get a crush on someone, what is it? So let me begin by saying that I believe that each person should make their own definition of love, no matter what anyone wants you to believe, including me right now. But as I am here to bring some insight to myself and to whoever might find it useful, I will say that love is the following. Love is the adventure two individuals start, not only looking to be completed by the other, but to acquire and develop the tools they need to find themselves. Love is endurance. In short, I believe that when you decide to love someone, which I believe is a decision that you take once the rush of the hormones is over, you do so because you believe that this person that you're choosing is essential to develop yourself. And in almost a humanitarian way, you believe that you too are essential for this person to develop themselves too. And it sounds kind of bad, it sounds kind of like utilitarian, like I say just before, but actually I think it's pretty amazing. For example, your partner might inspire you to go for that job that you're so afraid to go for, or to confront those problems that you don't want to face, or to have confidence in who you truly are. Following that line of ideas, we need love. Not as we need water or as we need food, but as something that adds value to our lives. Which takes me to our next point. Following a script is easy. Just following whatever society is saying that is the right way to love, it's easy. But as Akatat Sangen said in 2019, following the script does not require sensibility or creativity toward the specific needs or circumstances of your partner. And I must add, is the most laziest way to love. And you can think, oh, but I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything that is considered right when you're in a relationship with someone. Why are you not happy? You might ask that to your partner. And your partner, unknowingly too, might say, I don't know, because they too think, oh, you're doing everything right. But the answer is, you might even give them room to that person, but if it is not what that person needs, and if you were extremely miserable while doing it, it's worth nothing. Maybe they just wanted some flowers from the supermarket, or a fast reply, or a fancy dinner, or to spend some quiet time together. Love is not about doing what you think is right for the other person. Love is listening to them. See if you can attend those needs, if you care to do so, and work together to get both of your needs met. Okay, so this is just part of an essay I wrote last year about how romanticism shaped the way that we see love, and that how just ends up making us having bad relationships. And I read a bunch of literature to get to these conclusions. I'm going to link them down below. Some of my sources were that guy I quoted about how following scripts is just the easiest way and the most laziest way. He's a Canadian teacher from Canada. He's not from Canada, but he gives classes in Canada. And he has this course in Coursera. It was a free course. I did it about relationships, about how they are, about the needs and desires that we have. And I also read the course of love. So I read a bunch of things and I wrote this down, and I really wanted to put together. This is not even the whole thing. If you want to know more about this topic or how I see it through these authors, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!